we've picked up today a beautifully marbled New Zealand brisket. We're going to trim some of this hard white fat off, but to be quite honest with you, there isn't a whole lot to do in the way of trimming. We're just going to shape this and get it to a nice uniform shape. So the brisket comes from the front of the cow, it comes from the chest, so it's a hard working muscle. All right, so it's going to be our job to cook this nice and slowly, break down some of that collagen and turn it into beautiful gelatinous, lovely to eat meat. What we can do with the trimmings is we can make this into beautiful mince, or if you like doing curries at home, just cube this stuff up, put it into your crock pot with your favourite curry sauce and enjoy this brisket to its fullest. To start off with, I'm just going to make sure that I get this nice and round point here. I'm going to cut off these sharp edges because they're just going to, they just won't cook right, and to be quite honest, they'll just probably end up a little bit burnt. So there's two muscles that make up this brisket. We've got the flat, and you see the grain. The grain is actually running this way, all right? Now what we've got on top here is this other piece. It's another muscle. We refer to that as the point. Now that grain's running back this way. So this bit here, this point, is far more fatty than the flat. So you've got a lot of flavor here, okay? This is gonna take a little bit more to render, and that's why during the cook, you'll see us, we'll either wrap it or we'll boat it, just to keep some of that moisture and keep some of that steam coming up so we get an even texture. You'll see that this bit sort of thins out a little bit, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of that off. We'll flip it over and just have a look at the other side. So we'll start with the big bit here. We'll just take him right off. Work slowly, don't make any big commitments, just work away at the edge nice and slowly. Take some of this off. I wouldn't worry too much about the silver skin. You know, some cuts of beef, it's important to get rid of the silver skin, but certainly not a cut like this. We've got this heel here, which again is a bit fatty. So I'm gonna take that off and just working around, just giving that brisket a nice kind of oval shape. Now, if you don't take off the right amount of fat, or if you leave that hard white fat on, it's gonna be very hard for the rub to adhere to it. So just think about what you're gonna do next. We're gonna put some seasoning on this. If it's too hard, it's just gonna repel all of that flavor and you're not gonna get a nice seasoned brisket. Now, on top of here, we've just gotta cut this white, soft, jelly-like fat. So we don't need to go too hard with this, but I am gonna take some off. The reason I'm taking this stuff off here is because I want a bit more of a uniform layer of fat across the whole thing. Where the point meets the flat, you've got a really thick seam of fat in here, all right? When we cook this later and I cut it for you, you'll be able to see that's where all of that moisture comes from. So again, don't go too hard in here, but feel free to get rid of some of that real white chalky fat. And you've got this kind of shark's fin. So when this cooks, it'll kind of stand up like a shark's fin. So depending on what sort of headroom you've got in your barbecue, you might want to consider just taking a little bit of that off. So that's about it. I'm pretty happy with that.